Okay, we're running.
And Shalom, we're the real Hebrew Israelites. We come out every week to prophesy the downfall of this kingdom, America, which is called the daughter of Babylon in the Bible, and to teach you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're the Lord's chosen people on this sign, the 12 tribes of Israel. We want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Yeah. And double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone, for teaching us the truth of the Bible. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect scattered around the world. Shalom.
Yeah, so like we were saying, all praise to Yahweh Shai Bakashim, because these times are dangerous times. And I just want to, I'm just going to get into Revelation 13 and 16 real quick, because a lot of people are taking the vaccine. A lot of people are taking that vaccination.
Yeah, and they're promoting it too.
Yes, sir. So they're offering you $100 if you take it. They're offering you a gift card, a voucher.
They're doing like concerts, you know.
Anything, right? So, and why is that important? Why am I saying that's important? Well, I got a few videos taken down because I've been saying this the whole time. They're softening you up with the vaccine so you can take the MOB, Mark of the Beast. And one thing I've noticed, you know who takes these vaccines? These so-called women in college that graduated from colleges, or even the college education. But you know what and I noticed in 3 people that I know that took it, there's a lapse in memory. So they can't remember words, simple words. It's a long-term memory effect and it's a short-term memory effect. Because I asked my friend, hey, so how do you feel? So how long has it been since you got the vaccine? And she goes, how do you know I got it? She should have known because we got into an argument that day that she told me about it. So what happens in your brain when you get into an argument? Your brain stores that in your memory bank, and then you'll never forget that. But she forgot it. That's a long-term memory effect. Now the other short-term memory effect is this lady. I mean, they're all cool, but you know they're got demons on them. So I said something in Spanish like this: "Cierra sola," which means does it close by itself. So she heard me say "Cierra la cola," which means close that ass, right? But the short-term memory lapse happened here. And she repeated it 3 times. She said, "Did you hear what Jared said?" And I was like, that was like 5 minutes ago, and everybody knows. And she goes, "Oh, I forgot." So she forgot 3 times. So what happened there? She was excited about the situation. She tried to call me out, but it's that excitement that triggered her short-term memory loss. So she said it 3 times. She didn't remember the situation. She remembered the excitement. And then the older lady, they're all about the same age. Every time she's in a meeting, she forgets easy words. Like real easy words. And she makes up her own words. To explain that easy thing. So there's 3 things that I've noticed. So let's get Revelation 13 and 16. Well, let's get 15 first.
This is Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
So what's going on right now? There's miracles going on, right? We did a few videos on how when soldiers lose their limbs and they get a mechanical one replaced, how do they move it? They have to install a chip, a titanium chip inside the brain to receive and send those signals to the robotic arm or any limb that gets severed and gets reattached. So those are some of his miracles. And now he has power because he's saying if you take the vaccine, we'll give you $100. We'll throw this concert for you. We'll feed you. We'll give you this. We'll give you that. And who's saying it? The guy in rulership right now is President Biden, and he's down for the mark of the beast. It's no secret that he said that someone's going to rule on that by the end of his tenure. So within the next 4 years, we're going to be hit with this. Go ahead, next verse.
And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
He calls it all, both small and great. So movie stars, rock stars, rap stars. Because the brother said they're gonna throw a concert. So you know that motherfucker does.
Yeah, because I just heard it on what is that, B95? They were doing a concert over the radio and promoting a vaccine shot.
See, so you know those radio personalities are the big, and the small is the people listening to it.
That's how they try to get out their vibe, is through the radio. Because radio means rays, you know, like rays of light, you know.
Yeah. So whoever has the microphone is a so-called emitting those rays. It's the sun, right?
They're getting out that word.
That light. Whoever has that microphone is the light, and it's emitting what? The rays of light. So I said both small and great, rich and poor. So the great and small are not the same as the rich and poor. Okay? So the rich are the fucking super rich. Not the elite. Super rich. The people like people that are making millions right now. Because those radio announcers, they don't make millions. Those TV personnel, they don't make millions. And is a million even a lot? Not in these days, because we have something called inflation. And there's hyperinflation. So we're in a point of time where this is going to come into effect because we're going to be forced, we're all going to be forced to think about that decision. Because what, gas prices are going up, food prices are going up, chicken is going to be expensive. Chicken is going to be expensive. I've heard that on the radio. So price of chicken is going up, the price of food is going up, the price of gas is going up. Oh, and then the housing. Man, I bought my house for like $100,000 and it's worth about $200,000 now. But if I sell it, I can sell it for about $225,000, $250,000 overpriced. But if I want to buy another house, guess what? It's going to be an overpriced house. I'm not going to get another house for the same $100,000. So those are the people that are planning it. Let's say the rich and the poor. The rich are the congressmen, right? The congressmen, the senators. They're rich, but they're not super rich. They're not making spaceships to plan to go into outer space. And they're planning to go into outer space because someone's coming from outer space. The Hawashai's coming in those ships. Or that one big giant ship that's going to, like on Independence Day, you know how the ship was way out in the solar system? And then they saw it on the radar, and then they threw out three little, first one, not the second one, three bigger, there were little ships, but they were still big enough to cover the whole northern hemisphere and the western hemisphere, and over there in Asia. Free and bond, oh, so now the free and bond. So, who's free and who's bond? Because ain't nobody free, and we're all bond. We're all subject to somebody. So the free people are the ones that are so-called off the grid, right? They're gonna need resources and money. They're gonna need food. They think they got everything, but they're gonna run out. Because they showed this one episode on the Twilight Zone where it was World War III, after World War III, and the food was contaminated with radiation, so they didn't have any food, and those were the people that prepared. They had their own little town, and they survived somehow. So you're going to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So Elon Musk is making a ship that's going to take people to Mars. How do you think you're going to get on that ship? You're going to have to buy a ticket, but how are you going to buy that ticket? Would it be easier for the ticket to be on your phone or in your arm or hand or skin? Now you can just open the door, right? They show you in that movie Passengers where it's they're in outer space and and one dude has a bracelet to get into doors, and then some doors don't open because that RFID chip. So now, let's go to the next one.
Revelation 13 and 17, and no one could buy or sell anything without Rocky House.
It's the NID probably.
And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
And that's all going to happen after this vaccination, after everybody takes the vaccination. And then they're going to introduce the mark, the MOB.
Because it's already coming to the point where you can't buy or sell if you don't have the vaccine.
And if you don't think that point's not going to come where you can't buy or sell, remember last year in March or in February, in about April and May, there was no toilet paper. There was no toilet paper. You couldn't buy toilet paper. There was food shortages, supplies shortages. The trucks couldn't make it through the road. They didn't want to go out. They were just scared. Right? So to be prepared for that, that's coming. So you gotta repent, because if you don't, that's your ass. So that was my lesson.
My lesson is kind of going to the same thing, because right here it's saying that the devil is gonna require you to get a mark. So what that really is a test, you know. He's gonna test your spirit. He's gonna test your soul. You know, is it weak or is it strong? So
Can I get this for you before, because you said something. This is Revelation 12 and 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
yeah, that's right. So there's going to be a time when this devil's going to get cast out. You know, because the hopeful elect, they're becoming too strong. You know, and my lessons, you know, actually based on a title of a song, "Too Legit to Quit," by MC Hammer. You know, and we don't really think about what does that mean. You know, too legit to quit. You know, they just sing it and they don't really know. But that word legit comes from the word legitimate. And to be legitimate in the online etymology, it's lawfully begotten, to make lawful, declared to be lawful, fixed by law, in line with the law. So this sounds like the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, because they're lawful, you know. They want to keep the law of Yahweh Bashim al-Shai.
They want to do good. And I was watching a Brightburn yesterday, and the first scene it shows Brayer and number 143. That movie was powerful because that guy, he was being lied to, he was being deceived. Then he got power when he became a man.
That was righteous power.
He was 143.
Yeah, so legitimate means to be lawful, you know, to be lawful is to be full of the law, you know, is to want to abide by it.
And that's spiritual because there's people at work, you know, we mess around. They'll tell me, you better quit, and then I say, I'm too lazy.
Right. That's what it is. So, hopeful elect, they're too legit to quit, you know. And in Leviticus 26, it is where we get the law. 26 and 46.
Leviticus 26 and 46. These are the statutes and judgments and laws which Yahweh Shem Yahushai made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses.
So it said, these are the statutes, judgments, and laws that he gave to Israel. You know, these are the laws that he gave us because he wanted to strengthen us. He wanted to make us strong. He didn't want to make the heathen strong. That's why he didn't give the law to them. He didn't care about them. And then from there, we could go to Romans 9 and 1.
So this is the book of Romans 9 and 1. I say the truth in Hamashiach, I lie not, my conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit,
Keep going.
that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart.
So this is Paul speaking, right? Or is it Peter?
That's
No,
Paul.
it's Paul. Yeah, this is Paul. And he's talking. He's talking to the nation of Israel, because you'll know by the next verse.
I'm gonna read them all together because this
Yeah,
is pretty
yeah.
good. I say the truth in Hamashiach, I lie not, with my conscience also bearing me witness in the Holy Spirit, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh.
So if you're a brother according to the flesh, that means you're gonna look like him. You know,
You
Like-
have those characteristics.
yeah. I mean the characteristics. There you go.
You know, and my son put me onto this one show on Prime. It's called Invincible, and it's where this young superhero, he doesn't have his powers yet, but his dad's a superhero, and his dad's trying to teach him how to get it, but the dad tells him, when you come of age, like, because every Israelite has to come of age, and then he has to know all this, and then he has to get into the truth. So Paul's saying, for I wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh. So he's out here preaching only to an apostle heart, the strangers are Israelites. That's what he said. But why? But we don't believe it just because he said, because we look in the scriptures. And then Paul's right here in Rome, talking to Romans who are Israelites.
Yeah, and he really wants to touch them, you know, because he has great sorrow for them.
And verse 4 says, okay, so his brethren are what? Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Yahweh and the promises. Ooh.
Yep. So it said, we're the ones who pertain all that stuff. We're the ones who pertain the adoption. We pertain the glory. We pertain the covenants and the giving of the law.
So we're the only ones that can be priests. You can be a priest. Only I can be a priest because we're what? We're Israelites. To whom what? Pertain the law, the covenants, the statutes, the promises, the land, and the giving of the law.
Yeah, so if we're given the law, that means we got to teach the law. You know?
Red Hot Chili Peppers have a song, give it away, give it away, give it away now. Right? What I got, you got to get and put it in you. Dealing with the feeling, don't stop, continue.
That's right. Because Yahweh Shai, he gave us the ball, you know. He gave us the rock, you know. And what are you going to do with it? Are you going to shoot it?
Take it to the hole, goddamn it, right?
Right.
You're gonna break some ankles, you're gonna do what you gotta do. And if you need help, your brothers are always there so you can pass it.
Yeah. That's right.
And the game is going on every day. But the overtime starts when you go to camp. So you practice all week, and then this is the win. This is the time when you get the win.
Right. I want to go to Deuteronomy 4:1.
This is Deuteronomy 4:1, and Deuteronomy means the second law.
There's a duo.
Yeah. So Deuteronomy 4:1. Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live and go in and possess the land which Yahweh Shem Yahushai, your power of your fathers, giveth you.
So it says, hearken, O Israel, to the statutes and judgments that he teaches us. It says so that we may live. That's the whole reason why we try to keep the law, is so that we don't get cursed.
So that we can continue to live. So verse 2, let me get verse 2. You shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall you diminish out from it, that ye may keep the commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, your power, which I command you.
So Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the reason why he gave you this law is because he wants to see who could keep it to the best visibility, you know?
Yeah. And keep it and applying it are basically the same thing. So you keep the statutes because you're applying those laws. Oh, and the laws are here to help you when you're having hard times. When you break up with your old lady, when you get fired, when you get in an argument or you get in a physical fight. Every time you have those stressful moments, you should be looking toward the scriptures. So let's say you're on unemployment and your check hasn't come in for 2 weeks. You're stressing out. But you should have been praying those 2 weeks ago. And then things will get better eventually because of your prayer. And then, because prayer, what does prayer do? It helps you relax. It helps you understand where you're at. What do you need? When you need something, you pray for it. But then you also get into considering things. You can say, let's say my tires popped and I needed new tires. Oh Lord, I need new tires. But if you don't give them to me right now, that's okay. You know, but if I can get them sometime, that'll be great. And then you go, well, I didn't have, I don't need to use my tires out. And then something will happen and then you'll get tired.
That's right, because it's really a test. He's testing your patience. You know, he wants to see who is going to fight the struggle. You know,
Yeah.
Who's going to overcome the struggle at the end.
Like that saying you told me about, we're all bulls, right? We're at top of the hill. and we see thousands of cows, we're not going to say nothing. The young ones are going to run down there and get all exhausted and just have one. But the OGs are going to be walking down there.
Yeah.
We're going to get them all.
That's right.
Because you're patient and you understand the thing.
Yeah. So Yahweh Shem Shai, he's looking for someone who's too legit to quit. And I got a quote. It's just a quote online, and it says, "The harder the struggle, the more glorious the triumph." And the harder the struggle, the more glorious the triumph. So I want to get the definition for triumph. And definition for triumph, etymology online: success in battle, conquest, spiritual victory, an achievement, a success. And right here, a successful ending of a struggle or contest. And that's what it's really about. The only ones who is going to be successful at the end of this struggle are the hopeful elect. You know?
I got something for you right here. This is Revelation 12:7. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. So who triumphed there?
Yeah.
And where was that battle? That was at the end.
Yeah. Yep. That's the end. Just like a movie. At the end of the movie, you know, the good guy he wins at the end. You know.
So this is like a patience guide, because we know what happened in the beginning and we know what's going to happen in the end. We have it right here. I just told you.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So all you have to do is put the patience in between. Just wait. If you feel like you got to make a video, make that video.
Yeah. That's gonna be greater the glory. You know.
The greater the glory. Because let's say you're hungry, you're starving, and you're just stuffing your mouth with cookies and candy and chocolate. By the time you get to dinner time, you won't be able to enjoy a steak, a New York steak. But let's say you didn't eat those fucking snacks and sugary things, and you're starving and you're over there making that steak. You're seasoning it, put the salt on it, put the sea salt, and you're flipping it right, you put it in the oven. It's cooked to perfection. And you cut that first piece and you put it in your mouth, man, it's gonna be soft, it's gonna be tender, the juices are gonna flow into your mouth, and you're gonna absorb all those nutrients, and you're gonna feel good, because that's gonna provide some nutrients and some sustenance for you. Not little bursts of energy. So what your body does is, let's say we have cells in there, and they store fat. Well, we have to make those cells burn the fat. And then we got to put water in them so they can store water. Electricity, right?
Yeah, so, like the brother said, when you're eating all kinds of junk food, what you're doing is you're spoiling your dinner. You know? You're spoiling that glory for you to have that enjoyable dinner, you know?
A good
It's
meal.
not going to taste as good when you eat all the junk food right before dinner.
Yeah, you're not even going to eat your vegetables. And that's one of Satan's devices, is that sugar.
Yep, that's right. It's not even real sugar. I mean,
No, because brown sugar is real sugar.
so with that, you want to go to Romans 8:35? Because it said, the harder the struggle, the more glorious the triumph, the more glorious the victory.
This is Romans 8:35. Who shall separate us from the love of Hamashiach? Shall tribulation, or distress, or persecution, or famine, or nakedness, or peril, or sword? As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long, we are accounted as sheep for the slaughter.
So it said, what is going to separate us from Yahushua? Is it going to be tribulation, distress, persecution, famine, nakedness, peril, or a sword?
Man,
That's a lot of
you should listen to Paul. That's a good ass question, right? That's a good question. And the Lord made this train pass by so we can think about it. This is a good chapter, man. Good chapter. Why don't we start at 31? Okay, this is Romans 8 and 35. Who shall separate us from the love of Hamashiach? So, the question is, what is the love of Hamashiach? You following whatever he told you to do. And what sealed that love? His glorification. His blood spilling on the floor, on the ground. His last breath being taken.
it's either love or hate, you know, because there's a thin line between love
Yes,
and
sir.
hate.
Oh, man. Yes, sir. Who shall separate us from the love of Hamashiach? So he loved us and we love him? Or does he just love you and you don't love him? Shall tribulation? A lot of brothers fall out when they lose their job or they do something. Or distress or persecution. A lot of brothers can't handle, the persecution. Hey, you guys are hate group, this and that and the other. Or famine, or nakedness, or peril, or